Get your tinfoil hats out, guys, because yes, today is going to be an exciting and a bit of a banger video because we're having a little bit of fun in theory crafting the future meta that could be coming in Age of Empires Mobile. And let me tell you what I'm talking about before we dive in, because obviously currently, if you're playing Age of Empires Mobile, you will notice the current meta in game is technically all about damage. Honestly, it's all about damage and either using skills like Peaceful Haven or your Tranquil Water to reduce that damage that you're taking, because it's all about burst down heroes. A really good example is the one that you can see on screen, my good old Mulan build. But when we're just looking around, we've got Lubus here absolutely doing an absolute crazy amount of damage. Even Marshall Pikeman bursts you down so hard in the early stages, you don't even realize how much damage these guys are dealing. And then on top of that, you got the Miyamotos out there. Miyamoto's machine gun in their active skills with their Tribuanas and Yodis. So currently in the game, it's all about glass cannons, burst damage, just absolutely going crazy with damage, right? But this is where today's video is going to have a little turn. So smash the like, hit the subscribe button, share this about, and what I want you to do is comment down below your thoughts on this simple question. Do you think the future meta is going to become a sustain meta? And let me explain why I think it could be potentially going that way. Because when we look at Age of Empires Mobile, when you look at any of these city building games, as you guys know, you will start out with some heroes that are good in Season 1. Then Season 2 comes, you're going to get some better heroes, as you guys know. Season 3 is going to come, and you're getting even better heroes, but those are support-based. Then Season 4 comes, and you're getting better. So you can see each season, you're normally getting stronger and stronger and stronger heroes. These means heroes are just getting power crept over time, and this is just kind of natural in these games, and just natural in most games that you play, right? The progression of power. But when you look at the latest season, and when you look at the new season of heroes, there's one common factor, and that is healing. And a lot of people don't think that healing is going to be that much of a big deal. And I'm kind of in that same category too, don't get me wrong. But the more I am seeing healing in these marches, I'm kind of worried, because I'm thinking, Season 6, we get more support, so more DPS heroes that are able to deal damage, able to debuff you, and have inbuilt sustain. Because at the current, game, we don't. All we have is either mass damage or mass debuffs. We don't have a march that can do damage and sustain all in one skill. Not until Season 4 comes out with Elizabeth, right? Elizabeth has that on her main skill. Assimilation damage is the way. She has lifesteal built in as a pikeman. And when you look at Season 3, we've got stuff like Mehmed II here, right? Mehmed II, you might not think it, but he honestly does a decent amount of healing in the game. And depending on what, route you want to go, you've got Owl's Lament here. No matter what, auto-equip this, because it's going to recover your units, and you can recover more units depending on how much damage you've taken from the skill damage. You can see at the bottom here, really good healing-based skill. And because of that, you can take Peaceful Haven. And this is a no-brain combo running Owl's Lament and Peaceful Haven. It just makes this match sustain damage, reduce damage taken because of the sustain, and just keep buffing, right? It's a really good combo. And you can see that even with the future heroes. So if we just bang, pop up our good old friend Timur here through the slideshows, as you can see in this, Timur run, we've got Timur running his own more skill, which is the same as Mehmed. Anytime your Timur or the March is doing a critical strike, you're healing. You are healing. You are trying to get that sustain into your March. When we look at, obviously, our good friend Elizabeth, we've already mentioned, she has that assimilation damage. When we come back into Season 3, when you're looking at what heroes to run, especially on your lineups, you got to think, even in the tactician lineup with Charlemagne, The main go-to build currently for your Charlemagne's is going with War Tactics, which is, again, a healing-based skill, which deals a good amount of damage, but adds recovery to your march, and then either go in Conflagration or Earth's Crush. This is kind of the way people like to go because they don't like the value of the Bloodthirst. Even though this is a double heal, the might bonus is just so small because you don't really scale with might, so people don't do that, right? So War Tactics and Conflagration is normally the go-to build for your hero, and a lot of heroes have this, right? You can look at my current heroes and even my good friends, the warrior pikemen that I absolutely adore now. My build is a lot different to a lot of players. I've actually gone for a full supportive tank build because I run double tenacity. I've got tenacity on my Boudica and I have tenacity on my Mansa. And this gives this match an absurd amount of sustain and tankiness in matches, especially when you're fighting stuff in like Apex Arena, Open Field, when you're getting swarmed, Wonder Contest, Battle of Dawn, when again, you're able to swarm and take advantage of this sustain that you have and allow your main damage dealer, aka your Richard or your Leonidas in this case, right, depending on who you are, to deal damage, right? It's a really good philosophy, and that's the reason why I want to say the future meta could be healing. And if it is going to be healing, what's going to be the answer? Because as you guys have seen in the title, as you guys have seen in the thumbnail, the actual video is about a signet ring. And if you've not guessed the signet ring that we're going to be talking about today to finish up and round out the video on, I think you haven't been playing Age of Empires Mobile that long, because there is only one ring in the game that allows you to actually counter this style of meta, which is a healing sustain based meta. And that's the Ring of the Shark. Ring of Shark is the only thing that us DPS healers, damage dealers, can use. It is the only thing we can use, right? Every time we launch a normal attack and it hits the target, we reduce that target's recovery effect by 0.21%, and this goes all the way up to 50 stacks. So when we are looking at what this skill can actually do at max ranks, it's actually 1%, meaning when you hit someone, you are cutting their healing in half, and that is a insane amount of healing that you are cutting out, because it is that healing being cut out that's going to allow you as a DPS mark to actually punch through and kill that target, because without it, they're just going to out sustain any of your hits that you're going to be doing over a long period of time. And this is really good because you've got to think in the current meta, the current season that we're all playing in, this ring can be used on multiple marches. You can kind of see it's recommending it on Attila, which is great. We run Attila on our Lubus. Our Lubu's going to be super happy now, knowing he doesn't have to worry about people fucking out healing his damage. We've got also Mulan. Mulan, a really good option again, but I wouldn't put it on her, but I would put it on either Mehmed or Rane, one of these heroes in the supportive section of your main march that's going to allow you to enter a double attack state, and then more importantly, stop them from healing, because that is the main bread and butter for the Ring of the Shark. The only way to make this actually really good, honestly really good in the game, is to have it equipped to heroes that allow you to have a double attack state. So if you are wondering for just good examples on this, obviously we've got our good friend Attila enters a double attack state. For free-to-play players, even Josephine allows you to enter the double attack state, and I actually find this a really funny build, because if you think about it, you can run double attack with weak spot attack to allow you to go into that trigger and do a ton of damage, but at the same time, you're healing, you're recovering troops, and then you're stopping them from recovering troops. So you create this really lopsided fight in the sustain war, which is just super funny when you think about it, right? And this is kind of why I wanted to make this video. And like I said, get your tinfoil hats on, because it is all about having a bit of fun here, a bit of theory crafting, and just discussing what the potential future meta could look like. Because yes, the current meta is all about burst damage and killing people, but I do think things could be changing, especially when we've seen these new heroes with some lifesteal, with some sustain built into their kits. And like I said, this isn't like a one breeze thing and done. Even in the current heroes, there's a bunch of sustain in the game, right? We kind of showcase some of it, but even like Ramcam again does an absurd amount of healing if he's in the primary, right? Allowing people just to get 25% extra damage and 14% extra damage and recover 25% of their damage they've taken. That is absurd. Like, that's a lot of healing that you're providing in an AoE. You're also able to put tenacity on this hero. So if you went down a tenacity and peaceful haven route, guess what? You're again just stopping people from taking damage and just healing. You can go down the tenacity and war elephant route, because again, this is just the exact same thing, but you added actual damage now into this. So having any sort of sustain on this match, which you already can have, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. So that's kind of where today's video is gonna kind of almost finish on, right? What do you think about it? What do you think is gonna happen in the future? Do you think I'm gonna be right? Do you think I'm gonna be wrong, right? Who knows? I don't know. That's the whole point of making this video, right? It's a bit of fun. But I do like the fact that there could be this weird recovery sustain meta that's out there, and for players like myself that are running Mulans and running Lubus and trying to run even like players that are running Hannibals, right? Running Hannibals and running El Cids out there, you kind of want to enter this double attack state, put the Ring of Shark on to allow us to keep dealing the damage we're dealing and not fall behind against these new potential heroes coming into the game that have just an absurd amount of sustain built into their kit with the amount of damage they're already doing, right? So let me know. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be everything we need to discuss in today's video. No more dragging it along anymore. It's all about the Ring of the Shark. Is this Ring of the Shark gonna be any good or not? Let me know your thoughts down below, because obviously it is going to be one of those rings that no one has unlocked, including myself, but it could be something everyone might need to unlock in the correct meta. Currently, that isn't now, so don't worry, you don't have to unlock it right now. But is this ring ever gonna get its spotlight, and what it does, is it actually gonna shine when we need it to? So smash like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And until the next video, stay safe, stay sneaky, peace out.